I want to say thank you. Thank you to all the good drug dealers. Thank you to all the people of assorted gangs that stand up and do the right thing when the time comes. And that's different in every situation. We're all unique in our bodies, in our minds, in our experiences, in our times. But we are what we are. We are the ones who become what we become, and we make certain choices dependent upon the circumstances, internally and externally. But in the end, we decide whether or not we become bitter, or whether or not we help somebody else, or just focus on ourselves and become selfish. I wouldn't have survived out here. I didn't know anything about the streets. I didn't know anything about nothing. I knew I wanted to come out here and see my daughter and try to solve the paradox that was in me. I didn't want to live, but I didn't want to kill myself. So the only thing I knew to do was to try to solve the pain that was in me without hurting somebody else. That included myself. And Oakland was the farthest thing from my mind. Didn't even consider it. You know, I am me. I am bad and I am good. I'm selfish and I'm selfless sometimes. I effort to try to do things that don't harm other people, because that's my choice. There's some who effort to harm other people, and that's their choice. There's one thing about humans that I have come to understand. I've always wrestled with the are we good or bad inherently? Are we 51% good, 51% bad? And one of the ways that it bothered me, it questioned, was in the United States Constitution. How can we give everybody rights? Say they have inalienable rights, but then classify some people as 3/5 of a person? It didn't make sense. But yet what came out of it is, I believe, the best government form in the world. Because we have an opportunity to change our government as a populace. And we have horrible things in our past. Things that we did to other people that out of greed and out of prejudice, that we thought we were just in doing. But then in our country's history, we had people who rose up against that. People of the same, we were distinct. We were drawing the line of distinction because of skin color. But yet the people with some skin color that were causing the problem rose up, and we fought a civil war over it. And we ended it. Doesn't mean the pain's gone. Doesn't mean it still hadn't, stuff that hadn't been worked through. Doesn't mean the prejudice is gone. But there was an attempt made to try to correct it. And that to me showed that there was some leaning towards good in humans. That in the end, whenever each individual human gets a chance to reflect on what's going on, the majority try to move towards something that is not harmful to other people or themselves. which brings up the drug dealers. We're all drug dealers. Whether you admit it or not, you're a drug dealer. Because whether it's street drugs, or whether it's pharmaceuticals, or whether it's you're just trying to sell something to somebody else to where you get their endorphins kicking and make them feel better, you're a drug dealer. From the Pope to the president to the slingers down on the street. One way or another, you're selling something to somebody else to try to get them on your side. Now your intent, that's up to you. But there's some who literally will do, okay, just because it's an illegal act per the laws, doesn't mean that it doesn't go on. And there's some out there, just like with every institution. You know, an institution's a gang. I hate to break it to you. A government's a gang whenever you look at it. There can be thugs, and there can be people who stand up and do the stand-up thing. Out here, I realized, you know, there are layers upon layers upon layers of groups, institutions, known and unknown, that are here inside this Bay Area, this east side of the Bay Area, inside this half moon dome that is the stage that I'm here in. There's many different facets to what goes on to life here, and many different ways that people can nudge you one way or pull you another way, or push you down or ring you up. And it's just because the institution has or the group has a classification of, oh well, they're good. They have the backing of the this power, the United States government, or they have the authority of the state of California, or just because they're labeled bad because they have got a bad reputation and been labeled well, they're subversive, or they're not abiding by the laws that we have put down. That doesn't make them. That doesn't define the totality of what they are. Because there's individuals in each group. Just because I carry a badge doesn't mean I'm out for good. There's a lot of people out there that carry badges that are bullies, that do it just because they know that they can get the power and they can inflict it upon other people because they're sad, sorry people. Then there's people out there who wear a badge because they genuinely want to do good. And they do. And sometimes they bend policy. Sometimes they bend laws. Sometimes they break them. Because in the circumstance, it is the right thing to do. But just because I'm labeled, a subversive, just because I'm labeled a thief, just because I'm labeled a felon, doesn't mean I'm automatically bad. Because there's, like I said, many layers. I've been classified as one thing, but that doesn't mean that the person who did the classification wasn't biased. That didn't mean they don't have their own personal influences and personal goals. You'd be naive to think that. But I know they were the ones in power. Does that make them right? No. I want to thank the people who give safe haven to the ones coming to them, regardless of where they're at, which level they are, economically, mentally, physically. If someone's coming to you and they're in need of something and you give them a safe harbor, that's who I'm thinking. If you hear something about somebody that you know isn't right, It may not be your place. It may not be your time. It may not be your strength to stand up and rail against it and say, that's wrong. It may just be your time to get up and leave and not go back and not associate with those people anymore. Because whether or not, you know it, we're coming into an age now that we are at a renaissance of sapiens. We're evolving. And we're coming into an age of AIs, and there's going to be some individuals who start to trust this thing more than anything because it's a quick answer, and it becomes their God. It's all inside of us and outside of us. Every religion, when you get down to it, in the end, is about doing good things. In the end, it's not about being subversive. If you're part of a religion that's part of hatred, you decide for yourself. Is that what we're here for? Whether or not we believe in existence beyond this plane, whether or not we define what it is that we are here, we have an effect. If I go outside and I give someone a compliment, that ripples. Or if I tell them a derogatory thing, that ripples. Or if I tell them a lie, that ripples. Or if I tell them truth, that ripples. Whether or not I go on after this plane or not, it doesn't make a difference. We all have an effect on what goes on. Each one of us. And it's up to us to stand true, to be clear in ourselves. Because if I'm not clear in myself, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm probably harming other people, and I'm probably harming myself just by my lack of understanding, or try to be understanding. It's not doing the right thing. It's that we made the decision within ourselves that I want to try to do something good. It's not that I do something good. It's not to where other people say, well, look at him. He messed up. Yeah, we all mess up. We all fall short, one way or another. But it makes a difference. I cannot have esteem if I don't try to do esteemable things. And a human without esteem is a dangerous thing. It's a gross thing. We all know it. And that it's on a case-by-case, individual, time-specific circumstance on every single action. But it comes down to what we really, really want to do. If my intent is to get over on other people, then that's what I'm going to do. If it's to try not to get over on other people and not cause any harm, if I can't bring any good, that comes through too. And then you have the external influences of jealousy or hatred, or they just don't like you because they don't like you. I guess that's the world. I guess that's the way it is. But in the end, it all washes out. In the universe that we live in, every single storm eventually comes to a conclusion, and there's always peace after it. Every single war comes to an end. It's the way it is. Thank you to the people who, I'm sure there's some, I didn't even know what they were doing. But behind the scenes, whenever nobody knew about it, they stood up to somebody else to where I didn't get harmed. And I appreciate those people. I appreciate the people who could have taken advantage of me when I was in a vulnerable situation but they didn't. They're all over. Doesn't matter what skin color, doesn't matter what age, doesn't matter what gender, they're all over. Good does happen. All the time. Watch out. Because your chance is coming. Whenever good hits you, whether you just take it and be stingy about it, and take the good and then turn around and hurt other people because you were given some influence, or whether you multiply it and give it out again and spread it. We are the world. We are our future. And we can change our past.